Good afternoon, everyone, or maybe it is good morning, depending on where you are really. Welcome to today's webinar, Microinsurance, the Customer-Centric Approach in Rwanda. I'm Agnes Wanyirigira, Acting Director of Program at Access to Finance Rwanda. It is a pleasure to see so many of you joining us today. 37 participants already. Thank you so much for being here. Today's webinar is part of the Access to Finance Rwanda lead series, Learn, Engage, Act, and Develop, a platform we use to get together, to share learnings, and to discuss pressing issues in Rwanda's journey to the financial sector development. Today, we will be sharing lessons from one of Access to Finance Rwanda's inclusive insurance sector development initiatives, the Insurance Client-Centric, also known as ICCC. A bit of background about the project. The ICCC journey began in January 2019 to champion putting the customer at the heart of microinsurance solutions, to support inclusive insurance solutions designed from a deep understanding of clients' needs. In this context, Access to Finance Rwanda worked with a number of change makers passionate about inclusive insurance to test this customer-centric approach. Under this project, FR collaborated with 3 insurance companies and other market actors in the microinsurance value chain. We kickstarted the project with a 2-week human-centered design workshop. Insurers then got out of their offices to meet and really understand the segment they intended to serve. Insights from potential customers were translated into solutions. Solutions were tested, refined, piloted, pivoted, and we recently paused to reflect and take stock on the journey so far. It has been an insightful journey with rich learnings. The intervention confirmed that there is indeed a business case for microinsurance, and that microinsurance requires a customer-centric approach. Our journey also highlighted the role for market enablers like Access to Finance Rwanda in accelerating the inclusive insurance market development. We look forward to unpacking some of these lessons today. We are privileged to have all the 3 insurance companies who worked with this journey with us here today, who will be sharing their experience. We have Radiant Yacu Microinsurance Company, represented by the CEO, Ovia Iterate. We have Prime Life Insurance, represented by the CEO, Innocent Habarurema, and we have Sanlam Vie, represented by the COO, Olivier Muhire. Ovia, Innocent, and Olivier, welcome again, and thank you for championing the ICCC. We are also pleased to have Bert of Microinsurance Master with us today. Microinsurance Master was with us during our journey. They provided the human-centered design training and guided the 3 insurers to evaluate their journey. Bert will be moderating this webinar. And before I hand over to him, I would like to thank again all the participants. Now we have 82 joining us for your time. And I really look forward to an interactive session. Over to you, Bert.
Thank you so much for this, Agnes, for your introduction. And thank you, everyone, for showing up. It's clear there is an interest, and we're really delighted to be sharing some of the key lessons that we learned over the past 2 years in the ICCC project, Customer-Centric Cycle in Rwanda, that was joined by these 3 insurers that Agnes introduced. In the course of these 2 years, a lot of things have been learned, and these are the 4 lessons that you can see on your screen now that really stood out very clearly. It is, there is, first and foremost, a business opportunity for insurers to tackle the insurance needs of low-income households. Secondly, is that microinsurance, in order to do it right and well, it requires a customer-centric approach. And AFR project has actually given us the proof of concept to that, in case that was still needed. It requires that you iterate fast through customer feedback. And lastly, we also learned that market enablers can accelerate the microinsurance market development. Now, I do think that you can agree with me that these lessons sound straightforward, but obviously, as always, it's in the fine details. It's in how to tackle this, how to approach this, and that's what we're going to be discussing right now with the selected companies and CEOs. I will first have a deeper dive to unpack the issue at hand and to understand how they went about it. And next, open the floor for all of you to have a Q&A. So we have a Q&A, your questions answered throughout the session, not just at the very end. So I do want to encourage you to share your questions. You have two options for that. There's the chat, but we would prefer to use the Q&A so we have it all in one place. And in the Q&A, you type in your question, and then I will introduce it to the speaker as we go along. So first, we want to talk about the business case for microinsurance, and that there is indeed a business opportunity for insurers there. And I don't think there's anyone better to talk to that than Ovia Tuherwe, the CEO of Radiant Yacu. Good afternoon, Ovia. I think you are really well placed to talk about that, because when Rwanda announced and put in place a regulation for microinsurance in 2019, Radiant was the first to deposit its application, and so far is the first and only microinsurance company, the dedicated microinsurance company in Rwanda. So I'm keen to understand why Radiant was so eager to act on this opportunity, and why you were so eager to get that microinsurance license straight away.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brett. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, Radiant took the first place to require or to ask for this license because we saw potential. There was potential for the in the low-income households that they were not insured. And when you look at our market segment, for example, in agriculture, people in agriculture sector, they really have a lot of insurance needs that we really saw that they are not met by the conventional insurers. And that's why Radiant took the first lead to register its micro insurance company called Radiant Yacu to be able to meet all those unmet needs that we saw or we found out in our society. There are so many, but as you know, for example, take example of agriculture. People in agriculture sector, they grow crops, they rear animals. But at that point, they had no insurance for their crops, for example, and they also had no insurance for their cattle or for their animals. But now, of course, thanks to the government of Rwanda and in partnership with Access to Finance, we now have agriculture insurance in place. But there are so many other needs that insurance needs that we found out that these people really need, and we decided to take the first step to register our company.
Fantastic. And indeed, AFR conducted a FinScope study in 2020 that demonstrated only 17% of the 12.6 million Rwandese citizens have access to insurance, and that's then still largely due to health. And that the main barrier to insurance is indeed the affordability. So the demand is there, and obviously from you applying for a microinsurance license, it's a testament that you believe in the business case. With such a market opportunity, with such a large opportunity, because basically 83% of the population, how do you select where to get started? You talked about farmers, but it's challenging to see 82% of the population as like your customer target in one big group, right? So how do you select where you want to go in, and in particular, what had you in mind when you worked under the I3C project with AFR as a target group to focus on, and why?
Yeah, thank you, Bert. Like you said, 83% may have insurance policy, but this is due to the universal health care. that is championed by the government. But of course, these low-income households don't only lack health insurance. There are so many other needs. So when we are doing the ICCC with the help of Access Finance, for us, we tried to see there are so many other market segments out there. For example, motor riders, that's where Zradi and Yacu based our business research on. So we found out that they are not only missing, they don't only need health insurance. There are many other insurance that they need. These people, they are on the road, they are prone to accidents. Maybe they could need like funeral. By the way, during our research, we happened to ask this one question. When we were doing our research, we asked these motor riders one question that really it's still on my heart. We're like, so in case of death, what happens? Could be you, the motor rider, could be a member of the family, could be, your child, your husband, your wife. What happens thereafter? How do you go over it? So they were like, when something happens, we just take off our helmets and we start soliciting money from the public. People bypassing, they ask, whoever has a coin, he puts in, whoever has 100 francs, 200, 1,000, he puts in. So to us, that shows us a picture that really these people have, they lack so many other, insurance needs. So not only motor riders, there are so many, for example, tea pickers, people in lumbering, people in construction, all that, they need insurance, not only health insurance that the government is really giving them. And again, another question, Bert, yes, the government is giving, there is this universal health care, but again, is it really enough? Are the people really very, very happy with it? Can't we as insurers try to do something? Can't we, for example, think of a complementary health care for them? So, but there is still potential in our markets for insurers to tap, because these people really have got a lot of unmet insurance needs.
Fantastic. Yes, as you said in the announcement, the three insurers present here in a good year, in about 1.5 years, you managed to insure over 120,000 people, 120,000 policies combined, which is, given that this is happening in times of COVID, really demonstrating that what you have developed is responding to a need indeed. Ovia, in lack of a video, I pulled this picture here where we can see you as the third on the counting from the left, and the heading says claims as an investment. That's a particular strategy that you have adopted at Radiant Yacu. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. We as Radiant Yacu, we saw that, we've just found out that paying claims on time, it is actually almost becoming our motto, our slogan. Paying claims on time and very well is not an expense, but an investment. So whoever has a claim, of course, there are these small claims that maybe could not show some difference. So these people, when they face, these not huge, not very huge, because we are micro, but we have to visit them. We have to go meet with them, go to their houses. Like you can see here, we had gone to pay this lady who had lost, the brother died, but this lady was the next of kin. So we make sure we pay on time the claims, and this is because we know that paying claims on time is not an expense, but an investment, because these people will become our referees out there. They would do the marketing that we would actually be spending a lot of money doing. And actually by doing that, we've acquired many clients because of these testimonies. So people now trust us. We do this to build trust, and we shall continue doing it. It's not because maybe the company is young. No, it's something that we intend to continue doing. We shall continue paying claims on time, because claims will do marketing for us. So that's it. We try to do that so that we acquire many clients and many partners on board. But if I may tell you, so after, people starting to trust us, even partners came, not only clients. Some other people came, asking for partnership with us. Some cooperatives, they would come, we have this number of people, we have this, different cooperatives, different banks. They're approaching us to partner with them and, insure their families or their employees with us, and even their fields, their cattle, their everything with us. So we are so happy for this, and we shall continue doing it, Bert.
That's great. I really like that way of thinking. Claims as an investment, and so that your clients become your ambassadors, and it serves as marketing, which is indeed a very valid, because we're talking about insuring people who have no prior experience, and if they have it's very often not the best kind of experience with insurance, and so servicing them well, making sure that you can be there in times of need and delight them in the way you handle a claim, is giving you the proof of concept. You become a trusted partner, and people will talk well of you on their peers, which can help you to grow. That's great. I like that a lot, Ovia. I want to, in the meantime, invite everyone to share your questions you might have. On the bottom of your screen, you should see a Q&A. So if you click there, you can ask some questions, and then I will bring them in as well. Prefer that over chat, because in the chat, other elements might come in as well. And I would like to invite Olivier and Innocent also to join me here for a minute. We're talking about the business opportunity for insurers. Maybe Innocent, if I may ask you, you're the CEO of Prime Life, an insurance company, part of Prime Group, which also is a general insurance company in Rwanda. I'm curious, the reason you joined this project initiated by AFR, was it because you were already working on microinsurance, or was it an opportunity to test the waters and to see if there's something in there?
Thank you, Bert, for this opportunity. Thank you, everyone, to join this seminar that we are in today. About the question that you are asking, as Prime Life, when IFR started this project here in Rwanda, why Prime Life was interested to join? It is because we are, the two main key reasons are that here in Rwanda, beside the government scheme, which is health care in Rwanda, the Mutuelle de Santé, we are concerned about the low penetration of insurance in Rwanda, which is now causing the second key reason that we all of us have concern to solve. The contribution of insurance sector in GDP in Rwanda. We all of us, the insurance sector, have that concern. How can we raise the portion of insurance in economy, beside the risk perspective, but also in economic perspective? That's why Prime Life, as an insurance company, even if we didn't open a component like Radiant Yacu, we are confident that with the two companies, Prime General and Prime Life, we can have a big contribution to the Rwanda by also including those people with low income to join the scheme of insurance services, whereby the mindset of the population here were looking insurance as something which is reserved only for rich people. That was our main key decision and the point that drive us to join this scheme.
Thank you, Innocent. And we'll learn later on how that worked out for you at Prime Life. Olivier, were the considerations for Sanlam Vie, Sanlam Vie in Rwanda, were they similar to those shared here by your colleagues, or what are some other motives why you were so keen to join this customer-centric insurance project by AFR?
Thank you very much. More or less a bit similar because we had reached a point where we realized the traditional insurance and distribution channels, yes, they were reaching out a certain category of the population, but a huge number of people remained unserved or underserved because of the robustness of the processes, bring in costs that these people cannot afford. Definitely, we realized there is no shortcut. We need to think again and rethink about how to serve this class of people who face risks as in different ways, but at the same time, they face more risks than their retail counterparts. So we see there is really need to serve this category of people.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. A question I have, Ovia, for you, coming from Derek, is why would you apply for a standalone microinsurance company? It seems that other companies are able to do this or serve the low-income market under an existing license. Are there some particular advantages for doing so, for applying for a standalone company? And are there also some limitations to that?
Thank you, Bert, for that question. There are no big limitations, but the main reason that pulled us to apply for a standalone dedicated microinsurance company is that we wanted to be able to do both, because it's a composite. We do composite products. We do both life and non-life. So that was actually one main reason that pulled us to have a standalone microinsurance dedicated company. But another reason is that when you look at the processes, I think Olivier talked about it, the robust processes of these the conventional insurers, for a claim to be processed, to reach to the client who really needs money that quickly, because these people are they are vulnerable. So for us, we thought if we could make it a standalone, has its own claims processes, has its own product designing procedures, all that stuff, not to mix it up with our mother company. So for us to be able to serve these clients so quickly and efficiently. So those two reasons are the ones that led us apply for a dedicated microinsurance company.
And you can have the focus, you built up the expertise specifically for microinsurance. Obviously, one of the constraints is that all of the costs also are within the company. It's more challenging to share them probably than if it is just a unit in that. So thank you so much for sharing that, Ovia, and also Innocent and Olivier for your thoughts. Questions are coming in fantastic. I'm reading them and I will introduce them in due time. In the meantime, on the logistics side, it seems that we'll not be able to share video feed this time around. So I think of this more as a podcast than a webinar this time around. But it seems that it is not holding us back in terms of engagement and your questions. So fantastic. And please keep it going. Olivier, I would like to go forward with you and to talk about the second lesson that we have here on slide, which is microinsurance requires a customer-centric approach. We very often say that microinsurance is a different animal than retail insurance, right? Microinsurance is intended for a different audience, for low-income household, low-income families who have different risks, who have different kind of income levels, also income patterns. They might not be as regular as someone who's working in the formal economy. And as such, the typical products, they don't apply. It doesn't really suffice to kind of to downscale existing products, but it really requires to understand customer needs and build solutions from there. Can you maybe talk a little bit about that? How you experienced that? How you really went about in discovering these customer needs, and how that has helped you to design what you have designed?
Thank you very much, Bert. Difference between low-income earners and the other classes of the population is for the retail, you can easily anticipate what their needs in terms of financial services could potentially be. You can anticipate the level of income. You can anticipate even the ability to pay, the affordability. You can easily influence the willingness to pay through marketing and different distribution channels. Based on that, you can design a product and roll it out. And I can bet when you roll it out, you will get access to scale, and people will most of the time buy that product. But for the low-income earners, the insurers or any financial service provider, we have limited insight on what the needs are. It's not enough to roll out the product without going out there, talk to the potential customers, first understand what their needs are, and then design a product from there and test it and tweak it in case it doesn't respond to their needs. And you get surprised. What you think is the problem that you intend to solve, you realize that they will tell you a totally different problem and will come up with a totally different solution than what you are thinking to be the right solution to give to this category of people. So that's why I would emphasize that we really need, we should not push out the products in the market, but we should start by listening to the customers, understand well their needs, come up with a solution that responds to that need, and then test it whether we have really fully addressed their needs.
And that's what you did, right? So with Sanlam, you decided to cover tea farmers and to work through the tea farmer cooperatives. Maybe why focus on that group? Can you very quickly talk to that?
Yeah, thank you. We started with this group of farmers, the tea farmers, and maybe for your information, we went ahead and we are trying to come up with other cooperatives in different crops. But through our business intelligence, we realized the cooperatives of tea farmers are the most organized cooperatives. And then it was almost straightforward engaging them through their usual organization, the cooperatives, or even the federation. To get access to these people was more or less easier with the tea farmers than any other type of cooperative that are in place.
Which is very clever indeed, because that way you have that a partnership. The cooperative can promote your product, can help you to insure their members, and so you banking on the trust that exists between the tea farmers and the cooperatives, and it allows you to be more effective and efficient in acquiring members. To the extent that basically the tea farmer cooperatives, which are organized by region, they decided to make all of their members to adhere to enroll in the policy, right, which is covering funeral insurance.
Yeah, and yes, that's right, Bert. And in addition to this, there are even some cooperatives that are going beyond the contractual terms, whereby we are supposed to pay the funeral claim upon presentation of relevant documentation. But some of the cooperatives are going ahead and paying in advance to their members with full hope that Sanlam Vie will pay back to the cooperative. and they're not worrying about maybe paying out to their members, and then when they claim, they're not thinking that we are going not to pay that claim. So they're doing it out of the contractual terms. They're saying, okay, let us pay a certain amount in advance for the funeral ceremony, and then pay a claim letter from the insurer and recover from the payout that the insurer is making to us, which is really a good sign of the good relationships that we are having with these cooperatives.
Absolutely, and beyond that, I think it's truly remarkable. We comment on that as well during the process. It's a kind of confidence that the cooperatives already have in your company, which is unusual to see that so early in the partnership. Very often it's something that builds over time, and it further strengthens what Ovi also referred to as claim as an investment, because your partner is helping you to be there in times of need by advancing the claims to the beneficiaries. Basically, it's also improving how people perceive insurance, and so I think this is really something we applaud and is going to help in building further businesses indeed. So through the cooperatives, you had the enrollment of the entire groups, and secondly, they have helped you in an enormous way also in settling the claims, in claims handling, and providing a good experience there. And as we can see on the picture that we see on the screen, meeting customers, it's not the same as meeting retail clients or let alone corporate clients. It really requires you to get out of the office and out of your comfort zone even to do that, and to understand the customers, which are obviously both the partner and the beneficiaries. So I'm wondering about that latter point. Were there some concessions that you had to make that in order to get the cooperatives on board, that things you had to include or exclude that you hadn't foreseen or didn't want to go into?
Yeah, through the early phases where we co-designed the product, and through focus group discussions that we held earlier in 2019. So initially we thought we should come up with a complex product that maybe covers everything that anyone could imagine. Of a surprise, we realized the populations or the low-income earners or the tea farmers' needs were sort of a life cover, and the second issue was school fees, and number three, other investments like buying land or buying cattle, things like those. And then as a life insurer, we said, okay, let us focus on the life cover to make sure if a farmer dies or a spouse dies. Initially we thought the cover for the children is something they would think of, but all of a surprise we realized no single farmer presented the cover for their children as a need. And then to cater for the other needs of school fees and so, and extending their land parcels or buying cattle, we said, okay, let us organize things like going out, meet the cooperatives as trying to tie more relationships and give it out as a profit share from what you have collected, and then use how would I call it? Tell them, okay, we have, let's say, tied to the productivity or to the effectiveness of the member in the cooperative, and say, if you have been a good farmer and an exemplary farmer, let us give out maybe, let's say, a chicken or school fees for your kid or anything that touches on these needs, but not as something that is contractual,
Okay.
but to embellish the policy and to make them aware that there is a policy that is covering them on the life cover. But at some points, it can also address some of the issues that they had presented as the concern in the focus group discussions.
Thank you so much, Olivier. I would like to hear a little bit as well from Ovia and Innocent on these points. And Ovia, I think that customer centricity is no stranger to Radiant Yacu either. You have it actually as part of your mission statement to be the first customer-centric microinsurance company. So what does customer centricity mean to you? I mean, and why is it so important? Or what makes it so special?
Thank you, Bert. Yeah, like Olivier mentioned, we as Radiant Yachu also, we don't intend to sit back in our boardroom and start thinking on behalf of the customers. So of course, we need more products on board. So our intention is to go meet these people, the market segment that we intend to insure, talk with them, get to know what exactly their needs are, and then come back and try to design the product. And of course, we design it together, and we make sure what we are offering to our customers is really what they need. It has to be variable. So whenever we try to put any product on board, we have to, to use the SWAV approach. We have to make sure the product is simple for those people, for our market segment. We have to make sure the product is, we have to use all that, the approach of customer centricity, make sure our product that we put on the market, the customers really are happy with it, and it will give them value. It's not just like, we do copy and paste, or just we give them something that they will not really use or won't be happy with. So we try to make sure whenever we put on the market, it has to be customer centric. So that's the approach that we also use while serving our clients, serving our customers, and making sure that we give them exactly what they need.
Thank you so much. Innocent, I started off by saying that we need a customer-centric approach, and you need to start from understanding customer needs, because it is an unknown market segment. And if you don't know really who you're insuring, what their needs are, it's very challenging. But with that also comes a lack of data, data that we as insurers typically like to rely upon to price products. And so that's a question that Andrew has is, have you, as customer centricity, help you to overcome that challenge, to have some more confidence in how you price your products and how you go about that?
Thank you, Bert. The answer is yes. From the experience of the 2 years since we started this project, when we compare the enrollment, the claim, and the people who are joining the scheme, we are confident that the pricing that we have, because it was not, as Ovia said, it was not a boardroom product. We went to the field, we had the statistics when we were pricing the product. So far, we don't have issues with pricing in terms of claim and the pricing on the field currently.
Fantastic. And as I'm talking to you now, I would like to continue with you, because time is flying, to talk a little further about the third point, to iterate fast through customer feedback. Because indeed, I mean, it doesn't happen a lot that when we design a microinsurance product, when we design something innovative in general, that it kind of is an instant hit, that people who have never experienced such a product before, that they queue up wanting to buy this. And so it is not listening to clients just at the start and then launching something as a pilot and then sitting back and watching what happens. In order to do this right, you really need to continue to listen to clients to tweak your offering and then to build from there. And that's exactly what you did with your microinsurance activities at Prime. So we have put it in a graph so you can share it with us a little bit, where we can see where you started from. First, tell us a little bit what we're looking at. What was the kind of offering that you have designed, and who's the audience you initially wanted to cater it for?
Thank you, Bert. The graph we have here in front of us shows exactly what we did here at Prime Life since we started in 2019 up to the end of the last year, the year of COVID, the fourth quarter of 2020. The numbers here show the active policies, the enrollments that we had during that process. As the first quarter of 19, it was our starting point with 0 customer. Then we ended the second quarter with limited the number of customers. I know each and every one here, as it was in our case, it was somehow scaring, requesting in our meetings, is it really a good way of doing business? I have seen many questions that people are sending. It was the case even for Prime Life, but we continued to be on the field, especially understanding the customers, especially the 2 first quarters, going to the market, understanding, discussing with the customers, and realize that yes, the product that we launched was from the field, but the covers, the features were not 100% responding the needs to the market. That's why in the third quarter of the 2019, we changed some features of the product. Instead of going to the field with only funeral cover, we added like hospital cash, accidental fees for those motor riders and the others. Then from that quarter, we realized that the number of enrollments are increasing. They were somehow doubled from the second quarter to the third quarter, because we had some cooperative that were interested in our products features. Then in the fourth quarter of 2019, there was an increase of 500 new policies coming in, because we have launched at that time the digital channel as a solution of reaching the mass population, because as the previous picture was showing, it's not easy to reach the population in microinsurance. So we had to sit and agree with another channel that will reach the mass population. We also improved our awareness via television, radio, app, Facebook, Twitter, so that wherever the people, our prospects are, they can at least hear that there is a solution to the issues that the market has. So the 2020 was a challenging year for the business, not only microinsurance, but also the other products that we are selling on the market, because more than 90% of the distribution channel that we are using here in Rwanda, we are using agents, brokers, where we have to meet customers physically. So all of us were challenged. That's why we put more effort in advertising our USSD and the digital channel. And also we hybrided agents with radio and television in terms of awareness, and also selling using that digital channel. That's why the numbers were now, even if it was a challenging year, the figures were doubling every quarter and even triple. As you see in the third quarter of 2020, we went from 6,000 to 14,000 due to that hybrid of distribution channel, but also a new feature of the product, because during that time, many people in different cooperatives were complaining that if they knew, they could have make a saving component instead of only having a policy with risk, but also a saving to cater with the issues of lockdown, because it was the real time that people needed a fund, a support, a financial support. If someone didn't save, it was a challenge for many families to survive during that time. Then we realized that there is also an opportunity. So we launched a new feature to this product, and we realized that there is a business from that channel. It is pure digital. I was looking at some questions that people are sending. It's really possible to sell microinsurance, but also having different approaches than traditional products. Because this graph, it is because of understanding really what the market needs, being flexible to adapt the covers, the features of the product, but also changing way month to month or year to year the distribution channel as the market is developing, and even the world is now becoming the digital world. So we have to change in insurance sector how we use it to do our businesses. That is what I can share with you.
Okay, fantastic. And yeah, what I like so much about your sharing here is that, I mean, the initial numbers obviously are small, but you see how you have acted on those, and from 700 to 1,700, which in relative terms is quite an impressive growth. And then even under the lockdown, you kind of were able to find new ways to go to market, because I think that's the challenging part that you took on, is that it was not set as it was the case that Olivier explained with Sanlam Vie, where it was through farmer cooperatives. You really had to find the best way to partner, the best way to promote, the best way to do all of that. So I'm wondering, when I see this, in a sense, so how exactly did you do that? How exactly did you learn from the customers? I mean, how did you take in that feedback? Was there like a set mechanism? Did you ask your entire team to do some interviews on an ongoing basis? Can you give us a bit of insights on that?
Thank you. Especially in the fourth quarter of 19 and the third quarter of 2020, we at Prime Life had the team in charge of looking at how the project is it performing. So we had in our project the mission to go to the field and ask how the customer are really feeling what we are offering. That is what happened in the fourth quarter of 2019 and the third quarter, especially where we added the new features like for motorcyclists, those hospital cash and the accidental legal fees, because it was really a feedback from the field. During this channel, this way of with this project of with access to finance, we really had to go to the field. That where we get the information and how we have to change and adapt to the market. And also for the third quarter of 2020, what happened to come up with the saving feature, it was not really to go to the field because it was a year of total lockdown. Go to the market was very hard. We discussed via, we look at the people where they were complaining about the news. Then we, from that experience, that the people were complaining, we are in total lockdown, we don't know what to do. So in our internal e-meetings that we had, we shared that experience that the people in Rwanda are complaining that some of them, they don't have the way of catering for the issues of total lockdown. That's where we came up with an idea of saying what is the contribution of Prime Life in regards to this issue that we have on the market. Mm-hmm. Then we starting from our meetings that I can call boardroom meetings. We did our research with small research by using the COBOL systems that are online. We asked some people in cooperatives, what if we add on a saving component in addition to funeral one? Most of the people that we interacted with, they were really happy to hear that, but with a condition that it should be not like other conventional insurance products. That's why we came up with a fully digitalized product and the self-service, enrollment, claim, each and everything. It's 100% digitalized in this channel.
Fantastic. This is a great learning, and it speaks a bit to this graph on human-centered design and the way startups work, right? You build something, you measure it, and you learn, and you constantly kind of keep on changing it until you have what's in the middle, the product market fit, and that is something that what is actually really well coming alive in the graph and in your experience here. In the early days of a microinsurance organization, it is really so much about learning, validated learning, as it is called in the startup communities, where you do a lot of tests to see what is happening, what is working, what is really helping, and I think that is something that you did really well. You tried all sort of things, from radio plugs, TV commercials, but you did your math to see like how much does it cost us, what does it contribute, and is this something to go forward. So that's also where the saying that you need to learn fast and learn and fail fast and comes in, is that in the early days there is so much things that you can learn that is so valuable, but the idea is obviously that you measure it and that you adapt from there, that you don't keep on making the same mistakes. And it looks like that really worked out really well for you at Prime Life. I want to also ask a little bit about to Ovia and Olivier, and Ovia, I think also for Radiant Yacu, the way you went about it was not necessarily an instant hit, right? So you talked about working for motor taxi drivers, but along the way there were so many learnings and adaptations that led ultimately to quite a significant number of signups. Can you talk a little about that? What happened and how you adapted?
Yeah, thank you, Bert. Yeah, along the way, really, we had a lot of challenges with our market segment, the motor riders. Yeah, so one of the challenges, but before that, when we were doing research, of course, we asked to know, that was towards the end when we were designing the product, when we went back for prototypes and all that stuff. So they were like, we asked how they intend to pay the premium, the affordable premium that we agreed upon. So by that time, they were like, for us, it's okay. You can, pass through. We can pass through our cooperatives, because it is also one of the organized cooperative here. So they have a federation. They have different cooperatives. So they were like, it's okay for us. We are able. We want to pass our premium through the cooperatives. And we agreed, because correcting premium through the cooperative was really a very good idea. So we came back home and tried to put everything together. So when we did the pilot, so when we finalized our product, for the first 3 months, we got premiums. Really, they were coming through the cooperatives. But thereafter, things started, falling apart. We were wondering what's going on, what happened. So that's when again we went back to do another research to know what's going on, what's happening. Yeah, well, okay. By then we didn't do these focus group discussions. We just went one-to-one, and they were like, you see, we have problems whenever we pay through the cooperatives. Cooperative have a lot of other expenses. For example, many of them had loans in the banks that they had fast pay. So they didn't consider insurance like to be, they put paying back the loans first before insurance. So that's when actually you bought yourself helped us. Remember in November, we had a training with you, and we presented, you were like doing evaluation. So we presented this issue to you, Bert, and you advised us. So the advice you gave us of putting the premium, because about 95% of these motor riders, they buy their motor insurance from our mother company, Radiant Insurance Company. So you remember you advised us that we can bundle, we can, put that premium, the 1,000 that we charge per month, on the premium of motor third-party insurance. So, but that's what we did. Thanks to you, Bert, and thanks Access Finance. So we did that, and the product is now scaling out, and they are happy. We informed them, they are happy to pay that money, and whenever there is a claim, they are happy to come to us. They are happy to lodge the claim, and we pay as soon as possible, so that they are able to, to meet their needs. So that's what we did. That's the challenge that we faced on the way. But again, of course, after that, we are not only focusing on motor riders. We scaled the product. It's now, like I said before, so many other partners are coming on board asking, to partner with us to insure their staff, to insure different cooperatives. We do agriculture insurance, crop and livestock. So those people, the farmers, the cooperative of farmers, they're also coming to, they are buying this product. Yeah, so there are so many other partners who are coming in, and now we've scaled out, we've opened to the public. The product is now open to the public. Everyone can buy through the USSD. They can buy, pay premiums. In case of claim, they lodge claims on phone, and we analyze claims, we pay on phone. So everything is now moving so smoothly. That's why the numbers increased so fast. Thank you, Bert.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. And also great to hear that what we discussed actually what contributed, but obviously, as I also told you, it's not the ideas. Ideas are worthless. It's really the execution. And I think that both you and Innocent paint a picture that it's clear that it's not a walk in the park. It's really a lot of trial and errors. But that's not a bad thing. And as leaders, and I think that the three of you really have done this remarkably well. You need to give the team a space to feel comfortable with trying out things, with exploring, with making failures. For as long as you really learn from those failures, you can really iterate really fast, as we say, and move on from there. And I think that is working out really nicely here. To answer some of the questions that are on this topic, so the insurance that you're selling with Radiant Yacu is accident cover for motor insurance. And I think that speaks to this. There is some random questions as well. We'll add to the end of the conversation. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the fourth topic here, which is maybe not necessarily to the insurers, but to the wider community. Let me see how we can get there. And Olivier, I want maybe to start with you. When we say on the last point, market enablers can accelerate the microinsurance market development. Obviously, this is speaking to the role that AFR played with the I3C project, with the Insurance Client-Centric Cycle, to which the three of you applied and then were guided not only by Microinsurance Master, but by a series of organizations, technical consultants as well, to help you to kickstart your product. So if I may ask, how exactly did this project, this program help you to start your microinsurance business?
Thanks, Pete. If I was to put the item, I would have worded it differently. I would have said market enablers can accelerate the customer-centric approach. Mm-hmm. In that, not only it helped us to roll out a funeral product to over 15,000 actually tea farmers. Should there have not been that push from Access to Finance to open our minds and think of serving this underserved segment of the population, these people would still be struggling with the funeral expenses in the unfortunate event when they lose their loved ones. But at the same time, it has become a sort of a DNA, in that what we realized is working for microinsurance. Maybe we are not applying it the same way we are applying on the microinsurance part of our business, but we are trying to replicate it in our everyday processes. In that, people are now trying to challenge our processes and products, everything. One of the examples that I usually give is when one of our claims officers came to my office and told me, we are on the 25th, I have gotten my salary paid today, and I'm sure I'm going to go to the bank and withdraw my money and use it for the purpose I want to use it for. Then he continued saying, if I can get my salary that is paid on my bank account today and I can collect it today, now why can't we serve today a customer who files a claim and has been paying premiums for several months or even years? From that very discussion that we had with that claims guy, we started now challenging ourselves, and we came out with a process that helps people to file claims from their homes, and with no single document.
Fantastic.
And we can pay the claims within hours, though we still have the backlog of these claims that were filed not using the system. But at least we made that improvement from the customer-centric approach that we learned from the support from Access to Finance, with the seminars and trainings that we got there. So it means,
I like you. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, it means the market enablers, yes, they can accelerate the microinsurance, in that the fruits that we are seeing today, we have gotten access to the low-income earners, but in a broader way, it can improve on the services that insurers are offering to the market.
I like your update here, Olivier, in the sense that it did not only help you to unlock that opportunity, but also to set these first steps in the right direction, in the right way, to adopt this customer-centric way of working, which is, to our knowledge, the best possible way to really to go about it. Again, because you don't really know it, and the market segment, there's so much to learn. So you need to learn from your customers first, and the guidance of AFR has given you confidence to build that muscle and to continue from there. Innocent, maybe I would like you to ask you, would you be doing microinsurance today, and especially to the extent you're doing that today, if there was not that project of AFR that came along? Would you be doing microinsurance today, to the extent you're doing that today?
Obviously, no. From the training, the seminar that we had with this project, especially in 2018, with the experts that we had in the country, we started this project with more confidence. And before, we used to think that in microinsurance, as the people are saying, the cost is very high, and we were still looking at only those people who are earning more and also able to contribute a significant premium. Rather, we realized that with this project, if we manage to reach a big number of people here in Rwanda, and also we are the statistics shows that more than almost 8% of the population live in agriculture sector. If the big number of population, the prospect is in that area, for sure our companies to grow and also to increase that penetration rate, we have to come up with the solution that will solve the needs, will fit the needs of the population that we have here in Rwanda. We also have to understand that 1 + 1 is equal to 2. So if someone is covering only, let's say, X number of people, even if they are contributing a big number, all of us, we are competing on that small cake of rich people, while on the other side, we remain with the big number of population. Even if they are contributing as the small premium, but they are many. So the only issue that we may have is the way the distribution channel, that we have to think about it, but there is a business. So obviously we couldn't be at the level we are as at today. And that's why we always thank this, the project owner, the Access to Finance Rwanda, and also the expert that we worked with.
Yeah, what I've seen, and especially if I compare it to the other work that we do across the globe, is that a lot of insurance companies do see the opportunity for microinsurance, and they have it on their wish list, but it very often doesn't really make it to the top priority. It's something that is there. And what we've seen happening here is that because AFR had put out this call for proposals, that it was kind of the moment to act, and having had that seed funding to co-fund some of the activities, having that expertise that was brought in, helped basically to really to unlock that capacity. And again, the 3 insurance combined just over 15 to 18 months, depending on how you count it, just with the one product that you launched under this, the 3 of you are insuring over 120,000 people, which is quite remarkable already. And as I know what you still have in the works, just the start of it. So thank you so much for commenting on that. Indeed. We're running towards the end of our session here. So I want to make sure that we address some questions that were brought up and that might still be brought up. So if you have something outstanding, put it in the Q&A. And to the panelists, Ovia, Olivier, and Innocent, I see this as a rapid fire round, meaning be short in your answers so that we can respond to many of those. Olivier, maybe you want to tackle the first one. This is a question that responding to Enrique, Dan, and then also an anonymous participant who want to understand a little bit about the lucrative point or being the break-even point of microinsurance. Obviously, in the early days, there's quite some investments, upfront investments you need to make. Yes, we do see a lot of enrollments, but the premiums are small. So what is your estimation based on what you've learned so far? How long would it take to get to break even in microinsurance? What would be a minimum that you would advise your colleagues to have as a period to consider that?
Thank you, but maybe our approach would not be a good example of how things should run, because definitely the first year you are trying, you are exploring, and you have not reached the scale yet.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, the first, second year could be loss making. But our approach has been to set things clear with the cooperatives and align expectations before anything else. So for them, they expect to get the claims paid within acceptable timelines. And at the same time, they are aware that we are doing business. And what any investor is looking at is profit. Then we are sitting together with them and telling them, okay, let us run the project together. This is our expectations. We give them a reasonable expectation in terms of profits. We agree on, actually we draw the accounts together, the hypothetical one, and then we work around that one. So in case we are deviating from the anticipated situation, then we sat together with most of the cooperatives, looked at where we have loopholes that are bringing these drainage of, drain out of premium of money, then fix some of them without necessarily altering much the benefits. And they receive it, they see it as something that is very transparent to them, and they're not reluctant to either increase the premium or tweak a bit the benefits to make sure it's a win-win situation. Right. So this has been our approach, to sit together with the cooperatives, and look at where we are doing it right and where we are doing it wrong. Then we fix the issue and we move on.
You keep on learning, indeed.
Yeah, we keep on learning. So we are in our third year now, and we have started seeing a small profit of around 10-15%. So which is not negligible. Only that maybe the premiums are very small, and they have not reached the number we anticipated should there have not been COVID-19 outbreak. But we are still, with the little number we have, we still can make a small profit in our third year.
Got it. Innocent, do you dare to give a prediction? Obviously, if you put too much of pressure on the team to say you need to come with numbers and big numbers and profitability on a very short term, then the team might go after shortcuts and might not really develop the business that it should be. But you also don't want to put the team on dormant, but giving them a very long kind of outlook. So what would you see as a good term or a reasonable term to believe that microinsurance should be getting to break even or profitable?
Thank you. when we started the microinsurance 2 years ago, it was not somehow included in our budget with a big number. But for your information, this year in which we are, it is included because we are looking at the opportunity from there. The figures that we want to gain from microinsurance products, it is significantly positive, so that when I am pushing the people to go to the field, they also have that component of microinsurance, especially because the distribution channel, as I said in the graph, we have changed almost the model of reaching the population. So if we are now using, especially at the level of 80% of the distribution channel of this microinsurance, we are using digital, we are using radio, television. So it's a matter of pushing that component that we've never discovered before we started this project.
Okay, fantastic. As you're talking, a very quick one to respond to Ofentese. Can you also work with phones that are not smartphones?
Yeah, for sure. That is almost linked with what I'm saying. Here in Rwanda, we have a government institution in charge of maintenance of IDs, and every Rwandan with above 16 years has to be with national ID, and everything is now digitalized at the government level. So when we are dealing with mobile enrollments, we just only need ID and phone number, other information like residence status, and all information that insurance companies are requesting for. They are automatically pumped up into our core systems, and to facilitate our customers, we are using the USSD model, not necessarily using the internet, because we realize if we go to the microinsurance and requesting people to join our scheme by a condition of internet, it can't work. Then we link our USSD with the national ID. Then at the time of payment, we are also connected with all mobile operators in Rwanda. We have partnership. It's very simple and easy. They don't need internet. They just only need to have ID and the phone number. Other information are automatically retrieved from national systems.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there, Innocent, because we are running short of time. But yes, you can truly use the menu. Ovia, the last question I have for you, which is about the market segment of Radiant Yacu. Obviously, microinsurance dedicated to low-income segment. So is there any, can you be more specific about that? Like if you look at your plans for the next 2 years, what are the market segments that you're focusing on with Radiant Yacu?
Thank you, Bert. Yeah, like you said, our market segment is entirely the low-income earners. Yeah, but when we'll now put them in in another smaller segmentation, we are looking at clients for all these microfinance institutions, because they are micro by nature. So we are looking at them. We are targeting microfinance institution clients or members. We are targeting these farmers. We are targeting fisheries. We are targeting people in lumbering. We are targeting people in construction. We are targeting, those people that earn really very low income in that matter. So that's our market segment so far.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for that. And with that, I will have to close the Q&A here. I just shared a link to a LinkedIn group where we will post the video recording. And also, if there's any outstanding questions, then you can we will answer them there. But with that, I would like to give the microphone, as we say, back to Agnes from AFR. Agnes, you started by thanking us, but I think that by now it's clear we need to thank you and the team at Access to Finance Rwanda for having put this program together. Not only have you helped to have these three insurers to kickstart their microinsurance business, but we also gained some really insightful lessons that are valid for the entire sector across the globe. We really have learned and have validated learning, as we say, that the customer-centric approach is really the go-to approach when it comes to microinsurance, that we need to iterate fast, and that there is obviously first and foremost a business case for microinsurance. So thank you so much for having led this project in such a great manner together with the team and also with the team that preceded. I think this has been truly valuable for us as a sector, but beyond and above, obviously, for the low-income families in Rwanda who are now benefiting from these insurance solutions that are in the market.
And thank you very much, Bart, for the kind word. Indeed, it has been a very insightful webinar. We really, on behalf of Access to Finance Rwanda, I would also like to reiterate our thanks to the participants for your active participation, for staying with us and engaged for the last 19 minutes or so. We really felt an engagement through the question raised. It was great to feel the passion about inclusive insurance amongst the panelists. When they say paying claims as an investment, there's a huge value in a customer-centric approach. We are moving away from boardroom product. We are offering what really product that really fits the need. We are listening to clients and tweaking our offering. We are measuring and learning from mistake, and we are adapting and keep going. And it was encouraging as well to hear really to the Access to Finance Rwanda catalytic role is nudging the insurers to act. It's really great insight and reflection, a lot of food for thought. We feel we are only getting started. We are excited to continue this journey with many of you, exchanging and learning together. And we would love to hear from you. Please do reach out. Now we just put our contact in chat box. On behalf, really, again, we want to reiterate our thanks to our panelists, Ovia, Innocent, and Olivier, for sharing freely the experience, and to Bart for a very engaging moderation. A big thank you also to Microinsurance Master as an organization for the guidance and support throughout this project, and especially in collating these learnings. Thank you to FR team for the passion to share learnings, and to our funders, of course, to support our financial inclusion and financial market development agenda. A copy, I think Bart mentioned that, a copy of the key learnings and the recorded version of this webinar will be shared with participants. And we look forward to seeing you again for some of our next lead series. We will keep putting, updating the details on our social media accounts and website. Thank you again, everyone, and have a great evening or a good morning, wherever you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Agnes.
Thank you so much.
Have a great
remainder of your day. Bye-bye.
Bye.